I am Typhon, the most formidable, horrible, and dangerous being in Greek mythology. I was created by Gaia and Tartarus to avenge the defeat of the Titans and Giants. My task is to overthrow Zeus. I am the father of the most famous monsters in Greek history. They are well known as the Cerberus, the Hydra, the Chimera, the Sphinx, the Orthros, Laden the Dragon, and the Nemean Lion. In the following chapters, I will introduce my family. This is my wife Echidna, the mother of my children. She is a Dracaena, a creature with the upper body of a beautiful nymph and the lower body of a massive, terrifying serpent. Before I knew her, she lived in a deep cave in Arima, where she was immortal and ageless, far from gods and mortals. She fed on travelers who strayed into this region. This is my son, Cerberus, the legendary three-headed dog who guards the gates of the underworld. As Hades' faithful servant, he prevents the dead from escaping and the living from entering. Cerberus is often described with a serpent's tail, and sometimes even with snakes growing from his body. His fearsome appearance and relentless vigilance make him one of the most famous creatures of the underworld. Despite his terrifying nature, he could be defeated, for example, by Hercules. This is my daughter, Hydra. She is a high toxic serpentine water beast that lives in the sunless swamps of Lerna. The most iconic and terrifying trait is her regenerative power. Whenever a warrior manages to strike off one of her heads, two more would immediately erupt from the bloody stump. Her breath is so foul that it can kill anyone who inhales it. Her blood is a highly concentrated poison. Even the traces she leaves behind are deadly to the touch. During his second labor, Heracles realized he could not defeat the Hydra alone, as he cut off the heads with his sword. His nephew Iolaus used a burning torch to cauterize the open wounds, preventing the new heads from sprouting. This is my daughter, Chimera. She is a terrifying hybrid creature, a fusion of three animals. She possesses the powerful body and head of a lion, a fire-spitting goat head, and a venomous serpent's tail. She has the ability to breathe searing flames, a power with which she is ravaging the region of Lycia. She specifically targets livestock and farms, slaughtering entire herds of cattle and destroys farmhouses. Beyond mere destruction, she is a bane to many men, frequently hunting and devouring people who crossed her path. This is my daughter, the Sphinx. She is a hybrid creature with the body of a lion, the wings of an eagle, and the head of a woman. She is a plague to the city of Thebes. Every traveler who encounters her must solve the riddle. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, on 2 at midday, and on 3 in the evening? Anyone who cannot answer the question is instantly strangled and devoured. This is my son Orthros, a fearsome, two-headed hound. He is the guardian of the legendary red cattle of Geryon. Alongside the giant herdsman, he was doing his lethal sentinel until he encountered the hero Hercules during his 10th labor. Despite his monstrous strength, Orthros was killed by a single powerful blow from Hercules' olive wood club. This is my son Ladin, a formidable 100-headed dragon tasks with guarding the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. His most terrifying trait is his ability to speak and hiss in 100 different voices and languages simultaneously. Because he never slept, he is the ultimate sentinel for Hera's sacred grove. This is my son, the Nemean lion. He is a massive supernatural lion that ravages the hills of Nemea and is virtually impossible to kill because its golden fur is impenetrable to any weapon made of metal, stone, or wood. As the objective of Heracles' first labor, the lion proved to be his most difficult challenge. When Heracles realized his arrows and club were useless against the hide, he eventually trapped the beast in its cave and strangled it to death with his bare hands. The battle between Zeus and me was the ultimate showdown, a cosmic struggle for dominion over the universe. Which of the two possible orders of the universe was ultimately implemented depended on the victor. On one side was the order of the Olympians, embodied by Zeus. On the other, the chaos of the primordial monsters, which I represented. Conflict originated with the defeat of the Titans. After Zeus defeated the Titans and imprisoned them in Tartarus, Gaia, the Mother Earth, was furious. To avenge her children, she merged with Tartarus and created me. When I marched toward Mount Olympus, most of the gods were so paralyzed by fear that they fled to Egypt to hide from me. They transformed themselves into animals. Zeus became a ram, Apollo became a hawk, Artemis became a cat, Hermes became an ibis. Only Athena remained steadfast, reproaching Zeus for his fear and convincing him to stand his ground. Only Zeus, Athena, Hermes, and Pan stood their ground. Although Zeus stood his ground and defended himself with lightning bolts, I won the first round. I severed the tendons in his hands and feet and locked him in a cave. I wrapped the severed tendons in a bear's skin and hid them. To ensure no one could restore the king of the gods, I appointed Delphi, a half-woman, half-serpent she-dragon, to guard the cave and the hidden skin. Hermes, the god of thieves and Pan, crept into the cave. Using their typical cunning and Pan's ability to sow panic among the guards, they managed to steal the bearskin without being caught. Once they had the tendons, Hermes and Pan carefully fitted them back into Zeus's limbs. This immediately restored his strength and mobility, allowing him to return to Olympus, mount his winged horse chariot, and begin the second and final assault with his thunderbolts. Zeus pursued me all the way to Mount Nisa. Here, the Moirai, the Fates, played a crucial role, tricking me into eating perishable fruit. They claimed the fruit would grant me immeasurable power, but in reality, it significantly weakened me for the final stage of the battle. I fled to Thrace, where I attempted to make a final stand at Mount Haemus. I hurled entire mountains at Zeus, but the king of the gods used his thunderbolts to deflect them back at me. Mount Haemus, which means bloody mountain, owes its name to the enormous amount of blood I shed there during this exchange. Exhausted and bleeding, I fled to Sicily. As I tried to cross the sea, Zeus delivered the killing blow by hurling the mighty Mount Etna at me. The ancient Greeks believed that the volcanic eruptions of Mount Etna were my fiery breath and my desperate struggle to free myself from my rocky grave. In the following chapter, I will explain the surprising number of similarities between Godzilla and myself, which are primarily based on our role as primal forces of nature and our status as the ultimate king of monsters in our respective universes. Well, I was created by the Greeks to explain volcanic eruptions and destructive storm winds. The name Typhon is partly derived from my name. In more recent interpretations, Godzilla is often seen as a force of nature, similar to a hurricane or earthquake, representing the Earth's reaction to human arrogance. Both I and Godzilla embody the theme of the struggle against chaos and represent powerful forces that challenge the established order. I oppose the rule of Zeus, while Godzilla often disrupts human systems. Yet we both illustrate a deeper idea. Chaos is not merely destructive, it plays a crucial role in testing and reshaping order. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel.